2, 1.
On favor, so moved. All right, at this time, I'd like to make a motion that we reconvene for a regular meeting. Oliver, on favor, so order. And at this time, I'd like to have Sandy Resented, who will be reciting our pledge meeting report. Everyone should be staying.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Time, the Harris County Board of Education will join will be presented by Mulberry Creek Elementary Schools.
Also, because that we do have our Night of the Arts coming up on May 1st, and they will be doing like a mini musical, so we wanted to give you an invitation to that.
Thank you, Ms. Weaver. We appreciate that. And thank you for Mulberry Creek and Chorus. I really like that air guitar bit here. I'd like to thank the parents for y'all taking the time to bring your children out and having them with us. Yeah, and like I say, everyone is welcome. We're going to have a presentation of our valedictorian, salutatorian, if you would like to stay. If not, you are welcome to leave at this time. Thank you.
Some sort of rise of this and sort of configuration of the character.
Right. Well, we could.
We could put them here facing the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I
they're looking.
know
at
they
the-
come for us, but
Yeah. Yeah. Good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds a good idea.
We do have a board meeting that night.
Yeah. All righty, at this time, it will take us to section G of our agenda, and that's that the Harris County Board of Education recognized the valedictorian, salutatorian, star student, and star teacher for the class of 2025. And I believe Ms. Snyder, are you going to handle that?
So tonight, I want to recognize our valedictorian, Mr. Connor Archilla, and Mr. Tate Williams. He is our salutatorian as well as our star student. And our star teacher, Miss Katie Sizemore, is not able to be here with us tonight, but we are super proud. These two young men I've gotten the pleasure of watch grow and learn and just get into ginormous young men of intelligence and lots of gifts. They are some of the smartest kids I've ever had the pleasure of working with. So I'm excited. Miss Bailey has a few things to share with you just about some of their achievements. It's just amazing the things that these two young men have been able to do. And I look forward to what they're going to put us on the map. So come on, Miss Bailey.
Hello. Thank y'all for having us here. It's always nice when we get to come praise some of our great students. And these are two amazing, like she says. I've been in Harris County a long time now, and I will say this, every single year we set the bar higher and our kids keep rising to it. You know, I think, well, we won't have anybody as smart as these two. And then the next year they rise to it again. And so I'm going to say it again. I just can't imagine we're going to have anybody ever as smart as these two. They are really great. Each of them, I told Ms. Steiner before tonight, I said, they've taken so many APs. And she said, well, like how many? I really stopped counting. I got to like 15 and I was like, wow, but I'm just going to, you might think, oh, they've got these great, you know, this high GPA and they've taken some APs. They were probably easy APs. I'm just going to read you some of these AP classes that they have taken. They've taken AP biology, computer science principles, environmental science, U.S. history, comparative government and politics, U.S. government and politics, macroeconomics, microeconomics, calculus A, calculus B, AP language, physics B, AP statistics, chemistry. I mean, they're both doing chemistry right now because they didn't want to take an easy senior year. So they're both taking AP chemistry. They're really amazing. But the best, well, it's not, I mean, that smart stuff's there too, but they are so sweet. And usually for Val and Sal, the kids are coming in, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I didn't have that this year at all because number one, I think everybody has known for many, many years. I mean, it was just kind of not a surprise for anybody. And the best thing about that is you do not hear a bad thing about these boys. You truly don't. There's nobody saying snarky things about them because they're jealous or anything. They're super good kids. They do all this hard work, but then they're also so active in community services, school service, and like unbelievable stuff and academic competitions. And they work jobs. I do not know how, but they work jobs. They're truly, truly amazing. And we are so fortunate to have them. And I couldn't be any prouder of them. I feel like for whatever reason, I've gotten to know these two more than I have almost any of the others in the past. And they bless me. And so I'm so glad to get to share them and introduce them to you tonight. So please give it up for the greatest kids, Tate and Connor.
Were there any?
I'm so.
And what was your GPA?
So my GPA is about a 4.69, I believe, roughly. And I know Connor's like a 4.73 or so, somewhere in that range. This guy's the only guy I was I would be happy with losing to. Like, he's a genius. But my plans would probably be, I'm still waiting on college decisions to come back to me, but I've been accepted to Georgia Tech, so I'm probably going to go there. But but I would like to major in computer science in college, and yeah, just wherever I end up after that, I'm gonna be loving it. So that's my goal.
Good luck. Good luck. Congratulations.
Alrighty. So, like Tate, I'm also gone to Georgia Tech and backup school as well. I'm still waiting on a couple to come in. I had some interviews, they like realistic, and for my mom, who does not want me to leave the confines of Georgia. It's gonna be Emory. Yeah, really nice school. It's beautiful. Yeah. So Tate, same guy, like 1 hour apart.
So then what was your GPI?
Like a
GPA.
4.76.
Now, did you guys leave any of the AP classes there? I mean, did you like take every one we offer?
Oh no. Well,
I mean, I don't think we offer much more than that, do we?
well, there's AP music theory, but that's a little, that's
Lots of them online. And like doing their schedule for both of them this year was like a challenge, just because there used to be a course with set of minds and terrible legal ways, and they were out of things really on the GAF platform too. So Connor's taking ridiculously, which he said, not that hard, but ridiculous math classes at CSU that I don't know they are. And Tate is doing like amazing internships with computer science within the system. And so I feel like we got a sweet spot with it, but we got them adequately challenged and engaged. So I was happy.
Well, we just need to raise that bar by just having more AP classes. That way we can just keep going. It's a fantastic job, gentlemen.
Yeah, we got willing teachers. I mean, they're trying to look into getting AP capstone, which is a really fun little course. I'm gonna say it's AP research and AP seminar together. And if you do both of them, you get a certificate. And it's like your way into the humanities associated with business. So how to collaborate and also how to do research and write a paper, or in preparation for like theses if you get to that stage in, academia. And so for me, whenever college I go to, 4 years, I'm looking into majoring in math and hopefully double major bio or physics, depending on how I feel, maybe how hard it is. And then all of this, I want to do a pre-med track, get my required courses, and then eventually make my way into med school, then hopefully into residency for surgery or clinician or any sort of practice. And then, make ends meet, get my money up, and then maybe go back into academia, become a professor. So, or go back to school, become a teacher.
There you go.
Sounds like a plan. I like that.
All right.
Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Come on.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, wow.
Great job. Great job.
I remember him when he was in pre-K. Congratulations. Hey, great job, great job. I'm gonna be standing right there. That's how well he was, that's how good he was in pre-K.
Yes, we recognize Mrs. Oliver.
The late night project, the encouragement, the coffee, all the things. Congratulations. You know, my favorite part is, my favorite, I can't see, I'm sorry. My favorite part about your sons is that when you say, it's just like Ms. Bailey said, when you say their name, like this was years ago, when you say their name, who's gonna be valedictorian, it was always this. And they are proud that they represent the senior class. These are so nice. They're not. But beyond, even beyond that, it pushes them. The other classmates are pushed by what they see in these two and how they contribute to their community, how they contribute to the school, but how they push other kids and encourage them, not belittle them or make them think, oh, this is unattainable. And so, but my daughter, she always says that she's so proud of the two of you and what she can't wait to see what you guys are going to achieve. And so we're all very proud of you. So thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. Thank you again, gentlemen. We appreciate it. And y'all are welcome to stay for the meeting, but yeah, you leave you want to. Better take it while you can. All righty, and that will bring us to section H of our agenda, and that's public participation. And Dr. Finney, did anybody sign up?
We have no one signed up to speak tonight, and no one has contacted me to be added to the agenda.
All righty, sounds good. And that will move us to section I, the January 2025 meeting minutes. I hope everyone had a chance to review those, look at them. Is there any questions or anything? All righty. And at this time, we'll move on to our discussion agenda, and that will bring us to day one with yeah, just as a special. That the Harris County Board of Education listen to a facilities and technology update for Mr. Fisher.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Trust y'all are doing well this wonderful Thursday evening. Unbelievable. Last week I told you we're going to have our district insurance representative here, Matt Simmons from Gallagher. In your books, you have kind of an outlook. I believe it's about 9-10 pages, an outlook in there. The amounts that are in there are not public, and we haven't put those out for public consumption yet. But Mr. Simmons is here to talk about that and answer any questions you may have about that. So without delay, this is Mr. Simmons from Gallagher.
Evening, thank you, everybody. I did not take 15 AP classes, so be gentle if you would. That is very remarkable. Several familiar faces for those who I haven't met before. My name is Matt Simmons. I am Senior Director of Gallagher's Public Sector and K-12 Education Practice here in Georgia and serve as the insurance broker and risk management consultant for Harris County Board of Education. What Mr. Fisher has provided is what we call our strategic review that we have with our clients every year, start talking about what's going on in the marketplace. And that's kind of what my role, my purpose here is this evening, just to give a little bit of understanding, hey, what's going on out there in the insurance marketplace as we prepare for the renewal and do budget forecasting. So yes, it's about 10 pages. I won't necessarily go through everything just so that, so, there's information about Gallagher, kind of our standard template and everything, but, really jumping into the third page, we start talking about the insurance market Over the past several years, and Harris County Schools has experienced some of this. There has been there's been what we call hardening of the market, where we're seeing increased rates for various reasons. There's information here talking about in 2024 alone, the number of $1 billion weather property disasters, and it doesn't even include like the wildfires out in California. But these are things that impact the insurance marketplace, impact your insurance rates. The good news on the property side is that we're actually starting to see stabilization over the past few years. We've seen significant, double-digit rate increases as they're trying to keep up with the impacts of climate change and the increased cost of buildings. I think several of you remember several years ago, one of the carriers did an appraisal on several of the facilities, and we saw significant increases that just hadn't been brought up to date in many years. So now that we have it where we are, we try to keep it up with about a 5% increase on our own to kind of keep up with inflation, make sure that we're properly insuring your buildings. But that said, like I was saying, that the property market is finding some stabilization. We're not seeing as many significant increases on that side. On the casualty side of things, this would be your educators legal, your general liability. We're still seeing what we call a hard market. We still unfortunately see issues around employment practices or sexual abuse out in the greater area that are continuing to drive. And one of the big things is, especially in Georgia, is increased verdicts and jury awards. We see a lot of nuclear verdicts. I have a page in here to show kind of the trending of claims over $1 million in Georgia over the past 20 years. We're continuing to see that increase. One of the things that I know is up at the legislature for this year is tort reform. That would be a big thing when it comes to insurance costs, being able to start managing those, because as we continue to see claims that are being paid out, 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, $30 million based on jury awards, those are really driving a lot of the costs out there. I'll take a breath and see if there are any questions about that, because that's a lot of information. The last thing on this front page is cyber insurance. That's one thing that a few years ago we did a lot of work together to get from a security control standpoint, but that's a very stable market and stable area for us. And the other one that's not listed on here is your workers' compensation, which is one that we also place. That also, we see a little bit of fluctuation here and there, but that's really experience driven. And Harris County Schools in general has pretty good loss experience. Yes, there are claims, yes, there are accidents, but we're seeing, again, stability in that area. So we're hopeful for that. As I mentioned, some of this is graphical representation, talking about, pages 4 and 5 really is talking about those $1 billion weather-related and climate disasters that have been happening in 2024 alone and over the past 20 to 25 years, just kind of seeing the trend. And that's what we look at, and we track all that data so that, when we do forecasting, we don't know what the numbers are going to be until we get the numbers, but what our job is. And one of the great things that we did a year and a half ago was move the district's insurance from a January 1 calendar date to align with your fiscal. So this pages 7 and 8 are this is kind of a window into the conversations that we have with our clients, where we talk about forward-looking trends and say, hey, here are some of the things that we're seeing might be coming up in the future. And we like to talk about, hey, could this impact Harris County Board of Education? That's part of our role as, as the risk management side of being proactive of, hey, where are the things that we see could become an issue? Can we get out ahead of it? Whether it's talking about it, whether it's insurance, whether it's policies and procedures, but just, it's really about education and talking about things that, that are out there. Are there areas that we can be in front of, like AI and how AI is being utilized in schools and talk through policy procedures around artificial intelligence, or understanding, hey, if you're going to build a new school, how are you managing the insurance? Or if you bring on any contracts, what insurance contracts do you have in of your vendors so that we're transferring the risk effectively away from Harris County Schools, so that if something happens as a result of a contractor, it's not hitting your dollars, it's transferred over to their insurance. So it's really about that that strategic consulting piece. Any questions there? Any questions from either of these two pages where we have forward-looking trends or potential for uninsured exposures? Anything that is speaking out to you that you'd like me to talk about? Hearing none. Harris County Schools is, and I've said this before, it's a pleasure to work with the school district because it's a very well-run school district. I don't say that just because Dr. Finney's right here. It's a very well-run school district, and I've enjoyed the past years interacting with the board because you're engaged, and there was a couple of great presentations today, but you can see from your loss history that you guys really take the time to do things right. And yes, stuff's going to happen. Lightning's going to strike a bus. It's going to happen. But the things that we do throughout the year to limit, the big stuff is really what's important. And so it's great to be able to go out to the markets and look at them and say, hey, this is a really good risk. Harris County Schools is a great system, a great risk, and we've been very successful the past few years from a renewal standpoint of the markets understanding that. And so, without, talking to, Mr. Fisher, without getting too far into the numbers, we do budget, and we budget what we call conservatively. And normally you would think conservatively being low. We actually budget high conservatively because my perspective, I'd rather give money back to the board than have to come and ask for more. So that's how we kind of go about it. We take all the data that we track and we look at how the market's going. I have schools that are coming up in April, school clients coming in April. So I already kind of have a feeling of what the market's doing. So we try to put together our best guess estimate, especially now that we're able to budget for the insurance. So we provide that for, as you're going through budget process, as I get information from the markets and kind of understand exposure changes, employee count, payroll count, things like that, student count, make adjustments, keep Mr. Fisher apprised of that. So that if we do need to make budget changes, if it looks like, hey, things are going a different way, we can make that ahead of time so that things are built into the budget appropriately. But it's all about being proactive and education for us to bring to our clients. Yes, sir.
For my clarification on this loss history.
Yep.
Is this specific to Harris County?
That's you. Yeah. That's your property and casualty. That does not include your workers' comp, but because again, your comp performs very well, but I want to be able to show you guys that, you've had losses, you've had lightning strike a bus. You had a tree limb fall on a bus, same bus, right? Yeah, the same bus. But if I benchmark you against other districts, you all perform very, very well. So yeah, that is specific to Harris County Schools. Any other questions? Anything I didn't cover? Anything? No. No advanced physics.
Pretty in depth.
Then I will ask a question. I mean, I know we've got several older schools. I mean, does depreciation does it go into account the equation, I guess, when we're getting these premiums and everything? I mean, especially buses. I know it's getting newer, but I know we've got our older bus fleet that we're insuring and those kind of things. So does depreciation go into those calculations whatsoever?
It is a great question. So depreciation on vehicles, yes. So when you think about your auto premium, you look at it it really comes from two different sides. There's a liability piece, and then there's the auto physical damage. So your comprehensive condition that everybody's familiar with their personal. The value of the bus is factored in of any vehicle, or we call yellow fleet versus white fleet. So obviously yellow fleet being the buses. That does get factored in terms of the cost effectively to replace a vehicle. So when they're rating up the cost for your auto physical damage coverage, yes. On the building side, yes, we're reviewing your statement of values every year. And it's a little different actually there, because when you look at replacing a vehicle, well, if you do have a total loss of vehicle, anybody that's totaled a car, hopefully nobody, but anybody that's totaled a car, you get in your replacement cost less depreciation, because they're basically giving you what you're 2007 Toyota Camry with 240,000 miles on it. You're getting the money for what that is. That's what they do when they total it out. Conversely, we talk about an older building, you still have to rebuild the building. So they look at it's really more about the construction costs. When you're looking at the value of a building, you don't see the same depreciation on the buildings like you do on the vehicles, because it's about rebuilding the building. And so we're always seeing the values going up versus, an older vehicle value goes down. The buildings, the value goes up because it's the cost to replace the building. And that is absolutely factored in, because anybody that post-COVID did any work on their home knows that the cost of lumber went through the roof. And so we look at things like that. I hope that answers your question. Okay.
Does anyone have any other questions they would like to ask?
Well, as always, thank you again for the opportunity to partner with Harris County Board of Education, the school district. Like I said, it's always a pleasure to be able to come in here and work with the team, because it's fun to be able to work with a very engaged client. And so I very much appreciate it.
I do have one question. What is the timeline to have the final numbers so that we would be ready to approve this as we move this to our fiscal year, to coincide with our fiscal year?
So Mr. Fisher has done a great job getting the applications in. My goal to present to you in May. That's my goal.
Okay.
Things can change, but the fact that we've got everything in, we're ready to go out to the markets. We moved carriers last year. The goal this year is to renew with your incumbent carriers, because you want to build some goodwill with them, so that when you do, hey, you know what, we've had some good years, so we can absorb a loss. Things like that. That's the strategy this year, because you're with two very stable carriers. But my goal is to be back here in May to present. If I can do it earlier, I will, but sometimes it also depends on when the markets are willing to release the quotes.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of where I'm at a loss. When we get all our stuff out in early, when they're willing to release, because they're looking at May accounts, they're looking at April accounts when they get to it. But my goal is to be able to come back and speak with you all in May.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And like we said, these are the projections, and it's helping us with that budgeting process, because this is our budgeting season. So it kind of gives us a target to work with, and hopefully that's the top end of it. So any questions for me?
No, good.
Not about that. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you. All right, and I think that is, and that will take us to section K of our agenda, the action agenda. That number one is that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the committee representatives representing the Board of Education for the 2025 calendar year. The attached is the draft committee representatives discussed at the February 6, 2025 monthly committee meeting. And if everyone looks those and make sure they're good, the only thing I recognized was that on the rec board that I did tell Mr. Ray that I would assume that.
Okay.
Have any other questions?
We vote on that, if you're at that show, we need to make the recommendation to make the change.
Yeah. All right, so I'll make the recommendation that we change the representative for the Recreation Board to myself. Second. Already all in favor? Now, make a motion that we accept the other committee representatives as presented. We have one by Mr. Green, second by Mr. Johnson, all in favor? So moved. Okay, so that takes care of that. That will bring us to K2, which is that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached proposed memo request to purchase 2 lift-equipped special needs buses. I think, does anyone have any further question on those, or we need Mr. Fisher to say anything more?
Mr. Fisher, I'm just, as a reiteration, when are we gonna have those buses available to us?
They're all, depending on how it takes it, you know, and one of the vendors that do their work is April. They're talking about April getting it to us.
This will be in this year.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Not.
Not next year's. That was one of the benefits of going ahead and getting this opportunity and taking advantage of it. So we don't have to cross over in those different FYs.
And we purchase them using some state money that they give us for budget.
Yes, we get
And the rest is coming out of
slots. Yes, sir. We'll be reimbursed that money from the bonds. We'll front it and then get the reimbursement.
But if I'm not mistaken, that's only like $90,000.
88,153 or something like that.
But that's normal. They never give you enough for a budget.
Exactly.
Anyone have any other questions? So do I have a motion that we approve? Mr. Proctor, second by Mr. Green, all in favor? So moved. Alrighty. Now that will take us to K3, that the Harris County Board of Education review and approve the attached auditorium seating bid memo. And I guess Mr. Fisher is going to fill us in on that also.
Yes, sir. So as I spoke to you last week, I told you I was going to be bringing this recommendation to you that the RFP was going to expire or be due in between last meeting and this one. So we got our bids in from the potential providers. And just a quick synopsis of it, we had 4 companies, that showed up for the mandatory pre-bid meeting. We received 4 bids. 2 of those were, or one of those was not in attendance in the pre-bid meeting. So that one was immediately disqualified because they didn't attend. Then another one that didn't meet all the specifications of what we asked for. So we had 2 bids that qualified. And after that, we reevaluated the 2 bids and recommend that the H.E. Hodge Company with their bid of $172,977 be awarded the contract for that.
Is that the low bid?
Yes, sir. It was the low bid. It's about $23,000 less.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes, sir.
based off this bid amount, do you mind giving us a detail of what that entails? I mean, I know it's new seating.
It's new seating, the disposal. Let's see, new seating, removing and all that effort, the labor and charges that go along with that, the materials, everything. We will do the concrete. He's going to do that as a separate piece to remove the bolts from the existing seating, and the concrete. We'll do those separately. It was, yes, on this quote, correct.
So basically, this is just for the seating itself. Is that?
This is for the seating itself, exactly. We could, and the other proposal included that, and it was still going to come out more expensive than if we did those independently. Because we have some people we spoke with that we'll do the bids through, and they can give us those services at a considerable less rate when it's all done.
What happens to the old seats? Is there any salvage value coming back to us or not?
No, not to us.
No. Now here, if you want one, they might want to be able to give you one.
No. That was not my point.
Just so I'll understand, so, we're gonna do the carpet and
The concrete.
and concrete first. After
In conjunction, they'll take those out and we'll come back in, do the concrete. They'll put the new seats in, then we'll do the carpet. So it's kind of a staggered process, but coordinated together.
Coordinated together, but under 2 separate bids.
Correct.
Okay.
This includes the all.
Yes.
So do we know what the other bid's gonna be?
Ballpark, yes. We've gotten some people to look at it and give us some ballpark numbers, but not the exact.
Yeah, we're gonna have to bid
We'll
those
have to
out
bid
too.
it out.
Yeah. Right.
We have not done that
Well,
part.
and some of our, we're still waiting for some of our summer projects. So some of those summer projects may be carpet. Maybe those kind of projects. So it's going to benefit us to lump that into those rather than have one of these contractors provided as part of their services where we're banking on that being cheaper.
So this will be done in the summer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Starting May 27th, they have the window May 27th to July 13th, Friday the 13th.
What concrete work would be different? They can't use the same anchors for the new seats or not?
They'll have to, no, they can't because we're taking out those ends on the
Reconfigured.
sides to create that little bit of walkway through there. So that's going to offset the bolting, how they mount them.
So they're going to have to fill in the old, they're going to have to fill in the old holes and re-drill new anchor,
Re-drill.
new anchor holes.
Sure.
We have looked into that. At this point, it would be a lot of money to do that carpet in the walls. We still hope at some point to do that, but to make this project affordable, to get the seating in there that we need, we weren't able to do the carpet on the walls at this point. So we're still looking at options for that, but we need to get those seats out of there and the new seats in because we're losing auditorium seating every day to those 30-year-old seats. Yeah. Yeah.
I've already thought it. The goal is try to make it with the carpet work going, whatever we do on the floor,
Yeah.
kind of coordinate it with that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
We have cleaned the walls before with some success.
Steam cleaner.
Yeah, steam cleaners. So that's still an option.
All right, any more questions?
The capacity, the seating was going to be 868 seats is what they anticipate. 868 with this is 995. Thank you.
Thank you.
You were losing seating because we're taking off those end ones to create that walk space. Yes, sir. Because there is nothing there now. You're literally against the wall.
Well, emergency and safety
Mhm.
procedures.
If you look at it now to get into a row by the wall, you have to go all the way over across people to get to that seat in the wall. We're going to have open aisles on each side next to the wall.
Yes.
Mhm. Yeah.
Any more questions? So to have a motion, we approve item K3. Dr. Sparks, second. Ms. Green, all in favor? So moved. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. And I'd like to make a recommendation, unless anyone has any objection, that we combined L1 through 6 together. We have a motion by Mr. Green, second by Dr. Sparks. All right, so all in favor? Say aye. All righty. At this time, we'll go to section M, news and information. I'm going to do a little bit different. Mr. Green, I'm going to start with you and we'll go all the way around this way. Because all the ones on the end always seem to get favoritism, so. Did I miss that?
Yeah.
All right, so we did the motion and the second, all in favor? Of the consent agenda, yes.
Now, you can take them all at once.
Yeah, we can take,
I thought we were just motioning to take them all.
And now I guess I understood it as a vote to approve all of the items on the consent. agenda.
yeah, I made the motion to approve all through one as a motion.
But for clarity, if there was any question about it,
I think now there's a motion on the table to approve the consent agenda as a whole. And a
Right.
second, so I guess,
Okay,
all in favor.
so all in favor, so moved. All right. So as I said, that will take us to section M. Ms. Green, I'll start with you and go this direction.
So I just want to say thank you to Mulberry Creek seniors who came and performed for us tonight. It's always good to see the arts being done in our elementary schools. Also want to say thank you to Ms. Crooks and her staff for the lovely visit over at Pine Ridge this afternoon. Always a fun time to visit the elementary schools and watch those kids in action doing, as I saw almost all day long, math.
That's true.
So, but it was always good to go to our elementary schools and see our teachers teaching and the kids learning, especially the small ones. That's always just fun to talk to them in the lunchroom. And then I want to say congratulations to both Connor and Tate on their recognition and also for their outstanding GPAs and recognition and stuff. I mean, those two are evidently two very, very smart young men, and everything they said went over my head. So I wish nothing but the best for them, and I know that they will represent us well in the future for sure.
Mr. Johnson?
I just wanted to reiterate, the two young men were just spectacular. I mean, we hope that's what we're turning out. And if the ones underneath them are as close or anywhere near, Harris County's doing what we're supposed to be doing. Enjoyed the visit today. Ms. Crooks and them outdid themselves, but the teachers were happy. They seemed to be enjoying what they were doing, and their kids were doing what they were supposed to be doing, which is impressive to me when you go around and you see them from kindergarten up, and they're all engaged and doing what they're, and it was also impressive that they were using technology. They had their boards going, they had their computers going, the kids were working on everything. It was just very impressive. And then, of course, it still amazes me when I watch them get the kids out in the school and get them in the car and get them on the bus. That was
It's a process. Mr. Proctor?
Yeah, I'd just like to reiterate what the two gentlemen ahead said. I can't fathom having a GPA 4.7.6.
7.6.
It's just remarkable. And then again, I enjoyed the visit to Pine Ridge, even though my granddaughter wouldn't talk to me. And our building at the end wouldn't stand up. And I think we should say congratulations and way to go and pat them on the back of everybody that's participating in wrestling today. And there's been basketball and there's been tennis. So, everybody's doing a lot.
Dr. Sparks?
Okay, congratulations to Ms. Valerie Long for her. Thank you. Congratulations to those outstanding young women. Thank you to Mulberry Creek for coming and playing their response and their honors. Thank you to Pine Ridge for enjoying it.
Your building stand up? Did your building stand up?
Our building, who won the first one?
No, I cheated.
I'm very cheese.
That's right.
I heard y'all talking over there.
Mrs. Allen?
I just wanted to say what a great time we had today at Pine Ridge. And I got to eat with the kindergarten class for lunch, and it was amazing. And then May C, just a little shout out to her. She looked at me and she said, when we were finished eating, she said, "May I take your tray?" She was like hoping to take it. And I said, "Of course you can." And so we gave there's I think they were not afterwards, but almost time. And so we gave them plus points for that. I just thought that was so impressive that she said, "May I take your tray?"
You didn't buy her ice cream?
I didn't.
Couldn't wait for just the honest stuff to be in the
It was a great day. And so thanks to everybody. Yes, Ms. Valerie Sergeant. amazing. Hall of Fame, Georgia Hall of Fame, for all your students' lives that you touch. Absolutely beautiful. There could not be a more deserving soul up there doing that. I wish we had known. I work next door. I would have loved to have been there for that. But I'm so proud of you. And I speak for hundreds and hundreds of families and students, that there couldn't be a more deserving person in the Hall of Fame. We're proud of you. So thank you.
Mr. Ellington? Nothing to add. Don't have anything to add for all the rest? Okay. All right. Dr. Finney.
Okay, I would like to welcome our current aspiring leaders cohort that is here. You might notice that over the past few weeks, we've had some additional people in attendance. Tonight, they've actually quadrupled our attendance
I
at
was
the
wondering why
meeting.
we had so many people in attendance all of a sudden.
But this cohort group, you know, this was one of the things you all wanted to see, and they are a great group of aspiring leaders for Harris County. We are learning a lot from each other. I hope they're learning from us as much as we're learning from them. But I just wanted to welcome them. And one of their requirements for the cohort is to attend board meetings, do some job shadowing with assistant principals in the schools, and, you know, attend a monthly meeting with us where we teach them everything from leadership to finance to human resources and so forth. So we're finding this to be a very valuable project. And so I wanted to welcome them.
Could I put you on the spot and
Sure.
ask you to introduce them to us?
Why don't you stand up and introduce yourself?
I am a special education teacher at Creekside. I've been there 2 years. Before that, I was in Mountain Hill, but I've been in the district for 17 years.
Oh.
And then I was in education for 9.
Yes.
At Creekside as well, teach sixth grade math. This is my 6th year in Creekside, 10th year teaching. Grew up in Harris County, graduated from here, and glad to be back teaching.
And I know Kelsey from way back.
Yeah.
Here in the county, and I graduated here also, and always said I got a great education, so I wanted to be back here and to pass it on to my students.
And who are you related to?
At Charles County Forest.
We're glad to have all of you here. I hope we have set a good example for each of you and helped you earn some of your criteria that you need to have.
And I will definitely tell you, those seats back there and back there are a whole lot more comfortable than one y'all are sitting. Those over there don't.
That's
why they serve them.
yeah, we learned today that while we were at Pine Ridge, that the reason everyone sits over there is because there's no cameras and the seats are more comfortable. So. Yeah, we need to change it.
Okay. I would also like to give a personal thanks and congratulations to Valerie Longshore Sergeant. I'm probably a little biased because I've got a baby girl that was under her mentorship for many years and continues to enjoy a relationship on a professional level with her. And so thank you for everything you've done for Harris County students, but most of all, my Harris County student. So thank you. Expect my weekly update from the superintendent tomorrow via email. I've not got that prepared to send to you all. Don't forget, there's a ring ceremony tomorrow morning, pep rally at 8:30, and then the ring ceremony for the state championship students, both the softball team and Effie Ward for I think it's cross country. They'll be getting their state championship rings.
It's at 8:30.
Yes. The pep rally is at 8:30, and then I was told that the ceremony was at 9 o'clock. Yep. So they're going to do a good pep rally first and then the ceremony. Lots of sports going on this weekend, tomorrow and this week, even Saturday. So tomorrow you've got some Harris County soccer at home, and on Saturday, the state meet continues tomorrow and the state wrestling tomorrow and Saturday. And then you've got middle school, high school, 9th grade, JV and varsity baseball all day on Saturday. So, yeah, so you're going to get a lot of baseball on Saturday. Had a great principals meeting this week. The highlight of our principals meeting was to Impact, our leadership consultants that we've been working with. Kim Cantrell did a great presentation and workshop for us on having crucial conversations that need to be had. And thanks to Ms. Carlisle for arranging that with Kim. Kim and To Impact are turning out to be a very, very good asset for us as we work to develop the leadership across the district. But in this crucial conversation, the reason I mention it now is we didn't get to lunchtime yesterday before I was hearing from the principals and the department leaders and the directors. Oh my goodness, that was the best training I've ever been to. And I'm already having crucial conversations. This was really before lunch. We're already having crucial conversations that are going so much better just because of those few things that they taught us. So that's going to really help us develop all of us, to include me as leaders in the district. I think one last thing. I'm sure Tate is a wonderful young man and he deserves all the accolades as salutatorian. Connor, I've known since he was in pre-K. And I knew when Connor walked in pre-K, the first time I had a conversation with him as a pre-K student, I didn't doubt that one day he was going to be standing right where he is. That's how exceptional Connor was, even when he was a young guy. So congratulations to both of them and their families. I can't see that we've been represented much better than that. So that's all I have.
Thank you. So that puts me in the middle of everybody. I think I'll have to do Mr. Proctor's ditto, topping that. But I did enjoy the visit to Pine Ridge. I learned that I do not have any architectural skills with 3x5 cards. That was not in my capacity. And when teachers tell kindergartens to clean up, they clean up good, because when I turned my head and looked back around, my milk was gone. So I had to get another milk. And I don't think they thought that adults still drink milk. So I was like, where's my milk? Okay. So, but yes, our sports teams and valedictorian, salutatorian, we're Harris County is represented well through all spectrums and everything we do. And I think a lot of the teachers, staff, everyone does a great job. And I know we interrupt their day, but I really think some of them like for us to come there and visit and be able to see what they're doing and to see all the things they accomplish and accolades and stuff come with that. I enjoy it. I think a lot of us have said that the best part of this position is being able to go out and visit those schools and see the accomplishments and just, touchy-feely type thing and see all of it. Other than just sitting up here all the time and hearing about it. It makes a difference. So, but now that will move us to, at this time, we need to approve the personnel recommendations of the superintendent. Do I have a motion to approve? Mrs. Oliver, a second by Mr. Johnston. All in favor? So moved. All righty. And this time I will make a motion that we adjourn. Mr. Green, second by Mrs. Oliver. All in favor? So moved. We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming. Do what now?